Alrighty, we shall get started. Well, I don't know why I played intro music just to turn it off.
It's good.
Right?
Yeah.
You're vibing.
I was vibing I was vibing.
Oh, and everybody get in the headphones, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool,
Crystal
cool, cool,
clear.
cool. All right. Welcome to the Love Panel. I am your host, Will. We got our beautiful cast here. It's our assortment of folks. If you like, we'll start with you, Ayor. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, it's Ayor. I am confused.
Well,
I was gonna try to play it off, but what am I supposed to
You
be
was here
doing? Are
last
you
week.
married? Oh, yes, I am married. I'm from Chicago.
okay,
That's about it.
that's it.
Got it.
I'm Jared. Married to Kay. She should be here in the next 30 minutes, but we're from Texas.
All right. You mess with Texas.
Hi, my name is Alexis. I can go by Lex. Born and raised in Gary, Indiana. Been with my husband for 17 years. Been married for 13.
Still don't like you.
Awesome. I guess I'll go. I mean, breaking up the couple here for a sec. But I'm Melissa, and I'm from Northwest Indiana. And I guess I have a partnership. I don't know. Not a marriage, but not a marriage.
Close enough.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Corey. Oh man, dang. How many podcasts I'm on, bro? Like, what's this?
Five,
Four?
five?
Yeah. Like my wife, Alexis said over here. Yeah, we've been together for a total of 17 years. Married for 13. Both from Gary, Indiana, and so we got a total of 5 kids. We lost one back in 2015, but we got 4 living kids, 2 boys, 2 girls.
All right.
I'm Ariel, and I'm still in a relationship. And I am from Portage, Indiana, but I've lived all over, and all over being Oregon and Hawaii and
Awesome.
crazy places. And yeah, I just be in my feels.
Awesome. I'm Rachel. I am very single and very gay. And I just moved here from Boston to Northwest Indiana in October.
Nice.
Been great.
Are you into sports?
You a
Are you
Red
a-
Sox fan?
I mean, I don't go crazy for them.
This is a Yankee home, ma'am.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I should get the fuck out.
Yeah,
and
I need to leave too.
Wait. Are you a Patriots fan?
Bills.
Okay.
Hey, I hope y'all win.
It'll probably be disappointing, but well,
This is also a very heavily Lakers household.
great.
You watch
Yeah.
basketball too?
I dig it. Yeah, I watch it.
Boston?
Celtics. All right.
Okay.
It's also a very
World
heavy
champs?
Packers household.
It's also
Indianapolis Colts over here,
Go Pack,
Chicago
go.
Bulls. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's the only thing I know.
Hey, listen, I'm a Cubbies fan, okay? Don't come for me.
Boston Red Sox, Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? We playing for the title on Monday. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, yeah. I'm also a big college football
Oh,
fan.
you mean your
so-
Buckeyes? Your Buckeyes.
no, Notre Dame, man.
Oh, Notre Dame.
Ooh.
I thought you at first. I thought you said the Red Sox are playing. And I'm like, oh no.
Red
That's
Sox, man. See,
Yeah.
me
the
and
other
you,
red team.
Red Sox, Yankees. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah. We don't get along there.
Lakers, Bulls.
We don't get along there.
Yes, you know that.
I think this is a
Was that-
perfect
was that
segue
baseball?
into the topic tonight of
Yeah.
we wanted to talk about of like ruptures and repairs, right? Like the
Mhm.
things that happen in relationships that again
Yeah.
like expand us into a place of frustration or anger or irritability, and then how we repair. And so we have couples here that have been together 17 years, so you guys have got to gone through some evolution of things and how we
Yes.
evolve.
Yeah, we have. I can speak on it a little bit. I can actually
It's only a 2-hour show.
yeah, I can let's say here anything that we've had to
Well, let me ask you this: are there any stark differences from that you noticed in your relationship from when you first began to as of recently?
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
quite a difference because when we met, we were in our 20s, so it's a big difference from then and now we're in our mid 40s. So from maturing from a young age and then growing up kind of together, sharing each other, just getting to know each other on so many levels from the laughter to what makes us upset. Um, like I said, anybody doesn't have a perfect relationship. If anybody says it's a perfect relationship, that's a lie.
Mhm.
Everybody's
Yeah.
gonna have their ups, they're gonna have their downs, their
Mhm.
trials, tribulations, they do. But what matters is everybody finds a common ground, communication, and just making sure that everybody's on the same page. Now there are
Mm.
times we're not on the same page,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
but we still find that common ground to where we can, coexist
Yeah,
together.
because our marriage basically is built on communication
Mm.
and
Comedy,
laughter.
comedy.
Laughter is big. I mean, if you could see that with both of us, communication and laughter, that is like big. Our love language is laughter. Our love language is communication because when we first met, she was so independent that it took her a while to really open that door for me to come in and help. And, when I eventually did, it took her like by surprise. She's like, wow, wait, hold up. You mean to tell me you're really coming in to like help me? And she was like, I've never really had this, not even just from like family. Like, you're literally coming in and you're helping me. Because when I met her, we literally talked on the phone for 2 whole months without even seeing each other. And that communication and that laughter, that's where it started at. And it took me back, those butterflies, those feelings. It took me back into the high school mode all over again when I was talking to her on the phone. I couldn't wait to get off of work just to call her. I didn't want to text. I didn't want to do anything. I literally wanted to call her and talk to her on the phone. And I mean, like late night until like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning talking to her. And
Talking.
she got
Oh, you were talking.
right, like,
Yes.
and she literally had like Anita Baker in the background playing, and I could hear the music in the background playing. And I'm like, all right, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm gonna go to sleep, this and that. And the funny thing is, when we eventually met, we got the exact same car, but 2 different colors.
Oh my gosh.
It was we both had a
Synchronicity.
Pontiac Sunfire, but the funny part is the colors that we had. It seemed like he would have had versus what I had.
Exactly.
Because he had like a fuchsia, I had a dark purple.
Exactly.
So it
Right.
seemed
Oh
like
my God.
he had the girl color car.
Were you guys in like different towns, different states? Like
No,
No.
we were here, in Indiana. We
Yeah,
both
'cause,
in Gary.
I was moving from place to place at that
Yeah.
time. I lived in Tennessee for about 5 years and
I
migrated
lived
back
in-
home.
Yeah, I had lived in Wisconsin prior to that about 8 years. And then I just eventually moved back home. And oddly enough, I met her through MySpace.
When
Oh,
MySpace was popular.
awesome.
I
When
think
MySpace was
nobody's
popular,
I
yeah.
don't
A lot
think
of our
nobody's even
viewers
on
probably don't know what
MySpace no
MySpace
more.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's funny, and it's crazy because like I see from where we were, like from age of 29 to like where we're now, is that we literally do not get mad at one another. It's like if she's mad, I like, okay, hold up, you mad? I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna come back, and then she sits there and she talks to me, and I don't stop her. I let her talk. I let her say what she got to say. I say what I got to say. Okay, you good? I'm good. I hug, talk about it. We said and done, and then now we're like, okay, how do we figure this out together, and how do we move in step together as one?
Mm.
Because there was that point in time I thought in life that I wasn't gonna have her by my side, and I thought at one point in time, I was like, God, if I don't have this woman by my side, I promise you, I'm not going to be able to make it through life. I don't know what I'm going to do because This is my everything. This is my world. And if you take this world away from me, I ain't gonna make it. I promise you I'm not gonna make it, because that was at a point in time where uh we had just had our son, and it was that she didn't want to go into labor. She didn't want to do anything. She had preeclampsia, right? So at that time, the doctor ain't had no choice but to take the baby. And it wasn't on her that the baby was healthy, right? So her body was shutting down. And at this point in time, she had bleeding on the brain, hematoma on her liver, everything. Doctor delivered the baby. Baby survived for about a week. Okay. She had to be flown down to Indianapolis. At that point in time, it was touch and go. I had literally maybe my mom, my cousin, her best friend, brother around me. I had my best friend around me. I had all these people around me. Who did she have literally coming to the hospital to see her? Me, my mom, cousins, best friends. That was about it. And that was that point in time, man. And I'm like, Lord, just listen to me. Hear me out. Understand me. This is my world. My world stops and moves with her. I'm at my happiest place when I'm with her. I have a place to be when I'm with her. And if that is lost, I got 4 other kids that I got to look after. I would be a mess. I would be a wreck. And how am I going to raise them without her? Luckily, God came through. He brought her back. She's standing here now today. And because of that, we are stronger than we ever have been. And we keep moving step by step, day by day. And we pushed all that in the past, but we still bring it up every now and then. And I just be like, hey, you my love. I tell her that every day. I was like, you my love, because every day I wake up, I choose to love her. I choose to be with her. I don't choose to be with nobody else. I don't think about anything. I choose to love her because, like I said, that's my laughter.
Let me ask you. Let me ask the room a question, because you guys have built that up over 17 years, and you have that bond, and you guys have, been on the road together for a very long time. There's also an opposite side of that as well, where because you got some single folks in the room, you got some divorced folks in the room, things like that. Can anyone attest to the other side of that, where you don't have that communication, where you don't have that togetherness, and how is it that we can overcome that?
I can speak on that a little bit. I recently, me and my boo thing had a little bit of a snaffle here in a little bit, or here a bit ago, and we had a lot of disagreements. We have been smooth sailing. We agreed about everything, and if I thought about something, he would disagree with me because he was like, "I'm not gonna fight you on this. Like, you have to be right." So he's like, "Be right. It's fine." And so we were going strong, and then all of a sudden, it's like he can agree with everything that I need him to agree with, but I can't agree with everything he needs me to agree with. Like, I wasn't raised that way. I'm very independent. And when I have a problem with something, I need to immediately talk about it. If I don't immediately talk about it, and I'm talking to a wall, that doesn't work for me. I need to talk to someone in the moment that I'm feeling frustrated. Otherwise, my feelings are going to fade, and I'm going to forget how I'm feeling in the moment, and it's going to happen again. And I'm going to continue to feel that over and over and over again. And I hit that barrier a lot. And like, not just this relationship, and in a lot of relationships, it's caused a lot of problems where I hit barrier after barrier. And I know that doesn't just stem from like me. It stems from like things I've been through. But if you know I've been through that and I talk to you about it, and you continue to let me talk to a wall every time I'm upset about something until I get over it, then it's not going to work, and it doesn't work for me. And also, when they try to talk to me about their feelings, if they have to take a minute to gather how they're thinking, it offends me to the highest. I'd be like, what do you mean you don't know how you're feeling? I know exactly how I'm feeling, frustrated right now because you're not telling me, right?
Yeah.
And so those are some barriers I hit on the opposite end of those things. And I've been in long relationships and I've been in short relationships, but they've mostly all come to a halt because we can't get on the same page on things. And I like not being on the same page for the most part, but when on things that matter the most, I need to be on the same page. And then sometimes I'm on the same page on things that matter, but all the other things were different, and that really irks me too. And I don't know, exactly what I'm looking for, but I hate that brick wall that comes up with communication. Like, I need to have the same communication as my partner. Otherwise, it causes problems. Doesn't matter how long I'm with them, how long we've been together. I'm willing to just walk away and get over it because we don't have. You're not listening to me, and that gets is a huge thing for me.
I can
I don't-
understand
I
how it
don't-
might feel that way. Sorry.
No,
I
you're
didn't mean
good.
to. But I think not everyone has the same processing speed, right? Like you're a very fast processor. And like my guess is that you probably grew up in a house that was pretty fast paced. Like so did I. And I can like, again, attune to you and like we would probably fit really well in a lot of those things. But not everybody is like that, right? Like there are people who again like need to sit and think and have time to again go inward and be like, okay, whoa, what just happened? Like how did that make me feel? Where am I feeling it? People don't even know where they feel it in their body, right? Like when we have so much trauma, we don't even know how to identify into our body at all. And so I think it's hard because again, we want people to show up the way that we want them to show up, and sometimes they're just again they process maybe different or not capable of doing some of that.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, Ariel, because that's what I was going to speak to. Is first of all, what you highlighted, Coach Corey, about the foundation of your communication. You have open vulnerability and humor. And I think the way you lay the foundation of communication in your relationship is incredibly important. It's very important not to take your partner personally and to see them as the individual that they are with their own history, with their own trauma, with the stuff that they're working on every single day. And I think it's important to talk about these things, talk about how do you process, what do you need when things fall apart between us, when we don't feel like we're connecting or understanding one another. How do we move through that? And then it's also understanding like how do you move through that? So what do you need in those moments? Because we can't rely on our partners to provide everything at all times. So how are we self-resourcing in relationship during conflict, during miscommunication, misinterpretation, someone gets offended by something? I think the not taking it personally is like the hardest part because you care so deeply, you love this person, they're a part of your life. And so much of how we know ourselves to be is through our relationships. So when there's a rupture, it's like, it's like we've taken it. It's like representative of us, so it's hard not to externalize that and just allow a disagreement to be what it is and not have it mean anything beyond that. There's so many things that go into this. Yeah. This is a great question.
I will say, after we had this snaffle, I tried to break up. Like I was like, nope, we're done. I'm over it. Like I was like, I don't want to talk about it. I want to revisit it. I told you how I'm feeling and you made me talk to a wall. Now I'm done. And that was a problem on my part. Okay, I get it. Like I can be a little hot-headed sometimes, but it also like we took some time apart, which I was really annoyed that he was like, I need to think about this. I was like, think about it. I broke up. Like, we're done. Like, he came back 3 hours later and he was like, all right, I thought on it. We're not breaking up. And I was like, I was like, say who? And he was like, no, because listen to me. This is what I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking I've really upset you to the point where you have held it onto it and you festered on it and we haven't talked about it. And he's like, so what we need to do is we need to talk about everything that's bothering you and how we can work on it and fix it and where we went wrong with it. He said, what we're not going to do is break up because we're hot-headed and we're upset. And he's like, I care about you and you care about me. So he's like, let's do what we need to do, fix this and revisit it. And when I was ready to talk about it, I was like, let's go to the gym and do it. So we went to the gym. We were talking about it. And we were like walking next to each other. And I was like, well, it really upsets me when you do this, And it was a good vibe. And then afterwards, he had like flowers in his car. And he was like, he knew my favorite flower. And he wrapped it in a little sparkly ribbon bow around it. And he knows I like sparkles. And I was like, what was I even mad about? I don't even remember. These are pretty, you know what I mean? And so sometimes I can get hot-headed like that. And I'm wrapped up in myself. But like I go out of my way. Like, I go way out of my way to make someone feel appreciated and loved. And I try to speak to their love languages. So the second someone does the opposite for me, it's like I give what I want to receive. So when I start receiving negative things, I start acting the way I'm being treated, And so I have a tendency to like be held up in my feels because I'm like, well, what kind of energy are you putting in? And I feel like that's where I hit a lot of complications, but I do see when people try they try really hard sometimes when it comes to me. Yeah, but
Yeah, you're
So
like
it-
Yeah, I
matching
can
energy.
understand that too,
Yeah.
because as I was dating him at the time, it was the same thing. I was just like how you were, and because you've been burnt so many times, so it's
Mm.
like, okay, is he for real? Is he for that? But the thing that worked was he was patient with me at this time, and he understood, especially when he found out my background, and he was like, oh, okay. So, and then he saw for himself what I was talking about. Once he saw that, and it's like, I get everything now. So now I'm gonna come hard. I'm gonna be what you deserve to be. I'm gonna be what you need me to be because you never had that. So when
Mm.
you have that, it does help. But like I said, I could get all of that because I was the same way. It was
Ooh.
really, and you're not hearing me. And he's like,
Mm.
well, I am hearing you. And it's like he's speaking totally different from what I'm saying.
Mm.
And that's where the conflicts start. And that's where all that will
I
happen.
hate when they say, "Oh, I totally understand how you feel." I'd be like, "Do you?"
Yeah, but like,
That's like
you know-
the kiss of death right,
right.
there.
And but the thing is, when I stopped saying, I'm hearing her, I stopped doing that, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take this in a totally different approach. She'll be arguing, and then she'll stop, and then I'm seeing her. I'm like, you know what? All right, I ain't gonna say I'm hearing you. I just walk up to her. I give her a little kiss on the forehead, and then I just grab her, and then I just rub her back, just with the touch, just rub her back, just rub her, and then all of a sudden I feel that tension that she was angry and mad, and it just went away. And when I did that, I was like, I got it now. So this is what I'm gonna start doing when she's angry and she mad. I'm not even gonna say I'm hearing you. I started doing that, and then when she started coming down, I was like, all right, give her about 5 minutes. All right, are you ready to talk now? Now she would come to me, and now she would start talking. This is why I'm mad, this and that. And then that's when I would say, okay, have you ever thought about it this way? Have you ever thought about this way? Have you thought
Mhm.
about like why I'm mad, where I'm coming from? And then from there, it went to we made a rule. When you come in the house, whether or not, I don't care if you're from working or you just come from anywhere, you tell us each other about your day, you get a total of 30 minutes. Talk about it for 30 minutes, get it out your chest, whatever. It's done. This is our house. It's a peace, sanctuary. Said and done. That's the outside world. We don't need that outside world coming into our
But
household.
sometimes that 30
Mhm.
minutes is broken. That 30 minutes can turn to an hour.
Right.
That's 2
So
hours.
whatever it's gonna take, leave it out there. It's done. It's said and done. All right, cool. Now let's go on and sit back, relax, watch a movie, laugh, chill, talk about the day, see what the kids is, whatever else. Let's laugh at them. What they day was like, whatever else. All right, man, come on. Look, I ain't got time for all that,
Beautiful.
man. You know what I'm saying? We're
Yeah.
here. We're together. You know what I'm saying? We are one person, one heart, one soul, as one together. That's what we supposed to be. Man, wife, husband, you know what I'm saying? Whatever your significant other is, I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Whoever you with, y'all supposed to be one unit together and raise whatever children y'all got, dog, whatever. That's your house. Y'all supposed to be together as one. You know what I'm saying? You don't let nobody interfere in whatever that you got going on. So, advice to you, listen to him and give yourself a chance for him to say whatever he got to say. But the more you get upset and you doing all that, it's like your mind is running. Like they said, your mind is running so fast. It's like you saying stuff, and when you think about it, you like, dang, did I really just say
Well,
that?
It's true.
you're not really talking to a brick wall.
No,
Like,
No.
exactly.
he's listening, but in his mind, it's better for him not to say nothing and absorb what you're saying because, and I totally agree with you that certain people need to step away and sit down and think to themselves for a minute. But
Yeah.
when people are closed off, they don't want to push you further than you are.
No.
if
Exactly.
I rubbed my back's wife in the middle of a fight, I would get punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
But it's crazy what works for different people,
Yeah.
right? And
Right.
Yeah.
like it's hard to do, but you know, my easiest thing was, you know, what does my wife need?
Yeah.
And then, but how can I adjust myself to give her a little bit of that, but also keep myself? And that's tend to work, you know, work pretty good. But
I will say
Well-
when he came back and he was like, "Listen, we're not breaking up. I now understand what you were saying." And I felt heard in that moment, where before I felt not heard. I felt like I was talking to a wall. But he came back after he thought on it, and then he was like, "Now I got a response." I felt very heard in that moment, and I was very appreciated. But then I was also like, "This is a man talking to me. Men lie."
That's the trauma, right? The trauma brain kicks in.
I was like,
Trauma.
"Does he
Yeah.
mean it, or is he just yapping?"
So, Dior, how's things like that for you?
Right, because that's what I was gonna say. So me and my husband like are opposite in that way too. Like I'm the fast thinker. I know
Yeah.
why I feel and what I'm feeling, and this is why. And he's more so like, give me 2 to 3 business days,
Yeah.
and I'll come back with you. And I'll be like, I'm over it now. Like I've already
Mhm.
processed it, and
Yeah.
you still on it. But it do help, and it helped me like feel
Mhm.
seen, and it helped the situation when he do finally address it. Or I
Yeah.
just learned that some people it's different. They
Yeah.
man need more time.
I know.
So
and
how
can I
does-
speak on this too? Because we're also talking about your nervous system,
Mhm.
right? Like, and I think that's a huge component of conflict resolution is understanding what's happening in your body through the conflict, because there's so much intensity involved in the relationship. Like you're describing, Coach Corey, like this is your whole being, this is your whole life, and things aren't right with it. There's imbalance, there's stress, there's conflict, and that is activating to the body, and we all respond differently to different levels of activation in our system. And something that happens is shutdown, where you literally just can't process. Your nervous system is so activated. So I think that's an important component of this too, is talking with your partner about their bodily responses to stress. Like Coach Corey, you inherently just knew to rub Alexis's back, and that would be calming, and that's like a beautiful thing for you to intuit, but that's not something that most people naturally understand.
Yeah.
So that is a conversation to have with your partner, is just what happens in your body when you're stressed? What do you need to return to a more balanced, calm state? What can I do to support that process for you? Like, I think these are all really important questions to ask your partner, so that when there is rupture, you can repair more effectively later.
Yeah.
I think too, sometimes we like have the argument in our heads,
Yes.
right? We're like already playing what the argument is. And so then we address the situation. We're already having a connotation
Right?
of what we might be expecting, or, because we've already played it 800 times.
They're like,
So-
wrong answer.
right, and so I
Very
think too,
true.
like
Right.
that kind
Very
of comes
true.
into play also. And also, yeah, like we all have that automatic default mode: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And so some of us are fighters, and some of us are fawners, and some of us again like freeze in those moments. And so it's about like being able to respect everybody's different responses.
How do you guys feel about defensiveness? Like, if you're trying to communicate with someone and they get defensive instead of listening, how do you guys feel in that moment with your partner?
What was the
question.
first thing I
That was
did
it was frustrating.
when I got
Yes.
when we argued? What was the first thing I did that I was defensive mode?
Because if we have a conversation and you get in defensive mode, and after a while he's like, "I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk," and then when he hit that point, then I get frustrated, and it's like, okay, well, fine, But sometimes he'll cool off, he'll talk about it, and sometimes he like to throw that, I'm a man, and in there, and just say, well, I'm not supposed to be burdening you with my problems, because
do.
'cause I'm a man, I'm supposed to be handling this myself, and sometimes he forgets he has a partner, just like he reminds me all the time. I have to remind him, you do have a partner. And he'll say, well, that's not for you to be worried about, and all this stuff. I was like, well, just like you just said, we won. So if something bothering you, something's going to bother me. Because how would it look if you're sitting over there with a frown and I'm over here, just laughing it up? It wouldn't match. And then now you're going to be saying to me, like, why are you so happy? So, and I'm not. But yeah.
But
That was-
for like my perspective, if I can keep some type of if I can handle a burden myself without burdening her with it, and that's just me, or if that's me being a guy, or
That's a man
sure.
thing.
That's a man
Yeah,
thing.
it's
We
like-
call it
Yeah, 'cause
divine
as soon as I have a
masculine.
problem, I'm like, hey, you need to listen because I got to you're my best friend. Like, I want you to hear it and take half that burden.
And
Our last
Yeah,
fight, I had
all
to
of
force
it.
you to speak to me.
Oh,
And
quit
like,
living in the past.
I totally, and you know what? And the crazy thing is, I totally understand where your wife is coming from because my wife, for her to get me back in line, she'll literally come at me the way I'm coming at the kids on the basketball court.
Got to
Hey,
use his language.
she'll
You
be
know,
like,
even
"Look,
with
check
the
this out."
whistle, the whole thing.
She'll
Oh,
be like,
yeah.
check this out. Look, hold up. You're having a moment here. All right.
Nice.
I'm gonna let you have your moment. All right. You're going to have your moment. You're going to be all right. Okay, cool. Have your little moment. When you have your little moment, I need you to pick yourself back up and you're going to be all right. All
Throw
right,
your
cool.
tantrum.
And
You're a
then-
better coach than me.
I
I'm
sit there-
throwing clipboards.
Right. I have my moment, and then and then she'll be like, "Yeah, all right, you better. All right, okay. Let's get back into the game." I'm like, man, and that's just that whole thing of being together for 17 years that she just know me. It's like some days I can just wake up and she be like, "You angry about something?" I can feel it. I was like, "How you know I'm angry about something?" I know it. You ain't gotta tell me. I was like, dang, like, but it's like I love it. I love it. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. But like you say, it's just a man thing. We try to do everything ourselves. We try not to burden our significant other with those things. But at the same time, we still got to be reminded this is our partner. They're in it together with us. No matter what we do, no matter how many times we try to hide it from them, they gonna find out.
Yeah. Can we
Oh,
talk
absolutely.
about that a little bit? Like, how do you, as couples, as heterosexual couples, how do you dismantle those stereotypes or archetypes or inclinations of being? Like, I'm a man, right? So I don't verbalize so much my emotions because I want to be the strong. How do you break that apart so that you can have your style together?
I was
Mm.
very closed off and very my problems are my own problems, or didn't speak about it, and kind of we didn't really talk about our problems at home when I was a kid. And I grew up in a very loving home. My parents were still married and had a really good childhood, but we didn't really talk about issues, right? So in past relationships, you just close yourself off, and then she's extremely open. That's weird for me, but it's like you were saying, you would express your feelings, and your significant other shutting down, right? Well, we're not really shutting down, we are listening, but it's just for so long you're used to shutting down, and then I don't know, it took me several years at least to finally and we talk about everything, and all of my problems are our problems. We find a way. A lot easier to find your way through problems with somebody, and
Get a different perspective.
definitely
What's helped you get there?
communication, 100% communication.
Well, I also think trust, because I don't think you trusted me in the beginning because you've been so jaded by your ex that it took a while for him to let me in and trust me and give his heart to me, because it was like an onion, just like, please let me love you. Like, he's like, nah, I just want to burn your eyes.
I think I can kind of relate in that sense too. I'm very like I don't love very easily. It's not that I don't want to. It's just when I love wholeheartedly, and I'm not just going to give that energy to anyone and everyone I come across, because they're going to take that and rip it apart and take advantage of it. And not saying that everyone's like that, but I'm also like not just going to put myself out there to find out, And when I'm with someone that wants to give you all of that love all of the time, I'll be like, how easy is it for you to love people? How many people have you loved before you got to me? Like, is this something that you just give wholeheartedly to everyone? That's sketch. Like, that you're still okay.
Yeah.
I think kind of I kind of like a little bit on your end with that. Like, I don't trust people very easily when we come into relationships. We can be together for 4 months and I'll still be like, there's a lot to learn. I don't know you like that. I want to know you like that, but it's gonna take some time. I don't understand how some people could like me and be like, let's get married next month. Like I just don't get those people. Like I genuinely, I think I've only loved wholeheartedly like once before. I've been with people, I've tried to love, but it always comes to this point where it's like either we're gonna love each other or we're not. And I usually choose not because of big and small things that come to it.
Well,
And
make sure that you understand that you deserve it.
oh
That
yeah,
you
definitely.
as a
I'm
person
awesome,
deserve
right?
love,
Like,
right?
yeah.
So,
No.
let that come in if it does come in.
But sometimes it's hard to let go as
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
because when you, like I said, or like you were saying, you know how you've been burnt so many times, and now this might be a potential here, but you don't know that, and you're afraid to find out because are you going to do the same thing that happened to me before,
Mm-hmm.
or is this going to be different? So now you're in your own head
It's
and trying
it's
to.
not fair to that other person.
no,
either.
no,
Exactly.
it's
Right.
not.
It's not.
And it's not that I won't or I don't want to, and it's not that I'm afraid they're gonna burn me. It's am I wasting my time and my energy? Are you the person I need you to be before I decide that I want to be with you? If you're not gonna be the person I need you to be for me, the person are we if we're not going in the same direction, why are we wasting our time? And before I decide to love you, I need to figure out that we're on the right path towards what we need to be. Because if I sit here and I love you and you love me, but I'm going to be in New York in 4 months for the next 3 years, that's a discussion we need to have. Is this us wasting our time, right? And that's a lot of the time. I travel a lot. I've moved around a lot. Like I don't stay a lot of places. And a lot of times I've ended relationships because I'm not opposed to long distance, but if you're not willing to ever move yourself, I'm a mover. If you're not ever willing to remove yourself from your small circle or your small gray bubble, then it's probably not going to work. And it's better to be honest and upfront about things like that with someone, I feel, than to hold on to it and say, maybe I could be that way. Maybe I could feel that. Because I'd rather someone be upfront and be like, hey, this is not going to work if we're not going in the same way, than be like, maybe I could potentially love you one day. We're just going to have to wait and see. You know what I mean? And that's just how I am in my relationships. And honestly, the guy I'm with right now, he's pretty awesome. He's like, I never really thought about things like that. That's a good point. He's pretty open. I feel like he's learning a lot from me. I'm learning a lot from him. And it's been pretty mature and great, which is kind of frustrating.
That's awesome.
But
Mhm.
it's also
That's awesome.
like,
It's awesome.
yeah, but it's also, we still have some kinks to work through, but that's kind of how I view relationships. It's also kind of like a business transaction, right? Like you don't want to invest in some bad product and just be stuck with this piece of clothing in the back of your closet, right? Like
She invested in bad product, but she
What was,
she
Well,
put a
no,
lot
I
of
was
money
gonna
into
say
it.
earlier, like people change because I would have
Yeah.
never uprooted my life for any man. Like I had my own thing going, and now I travel with him everywhere and completely
That's
uprooted
awesome.
my entire life.
Yeah.
Because when you find the person that you want to be with, you'll make the changes.
Mhm.
You
Right.
will.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What was actually the question again? I got sidetracked.
Oh, just breaking up those like stereotypes or kind of societal downloads about what it means to be a man or a woman and in
Oh,
relationship.
okay,
And
well,
how do you?
I would say for me, I grew up in a household. My wife over there probably laughing right now, but I grew up in a household full of women. Not a lot of men in the household except for maybe my uncle and a few cousins. So I was really raised, yeah, by like a lot of women, but mainly the two fixtures in my life were my mom and my cousin. And my cousin was like always hitting home, like, well, you're gonna get out there one day. You're gonna eventually meet a woman, and you're gonna marry. This is the way you need to be, and this is how you need to be. And I'm looking like, cuz I'm only 6 years old right now. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, I need to start talking about this right now. I'm looking like, I'm 6. So, as she kept talking to me about it as I got older, I started to understand. And I can remember the first time I started crying. She was like, it's okay to cry. I'm like, huh? Uncle just told me boys don't cry.
Mm.
She's like, no, it's okay to cry in front of women. I'm like, you sure? Like, Uncle Sutton said, nah, yeah, it's okay to cry. And I'm like, well, dang, I'm confused at that time, like boys, we not supposed to cry. We get hurt, you know what I'm saying? Get up, we're not supposed to show our emotions unless we're really mad or angry. No, show your emotions. You wear your emotions on your sleeve. It's okay. And as I started getting old, I started to learn. And as I started dating, it's okay to be open. It's okay to be vulnerable and things and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. Now I understand it. But when I met my wife, when she started seeing those other sides of me, it was like, okay. It was just that I had to get comfortable with her, like I said, because she was so independent, not letting her help. And that's why I was like, hey, I'm here to help you. I need you to understand these things. This is me. I'm an emotional person. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I'm letting you know. If I'm mad, I'm mad. If I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna cry. If I'm angry, I'm angry. I'm letting it all out. What you want me to do? I'm not gonna hide anything because this is how my cousin raised me to be. You know, my uncle, on the other hand, you man, you need to compress those emotions. You don't need to show those in front of a woman. Women gonna think you're weak. Okay, so you mean tell me if I get married, I suppose I had those emotions for my wife?
I can kind of piggy on that because I have a 7-year-old boy and I never tell him don't cry. Like boys don't cry. Like yeah, you need to express yourself. You need to know why you're feeling it and how to feel it and how to communicate it.
Definitely.
So I definitely understand that part. But like getting in my business, like his dad, his dad is real like the man that's like I'm a man. We don't do this. We don't do that. Like we don't wear Uggs. We don't wear tight. Like we just don't like just because we're men. And it's like I get it. I get it a little bit because I understand like you want them to follow some of the things like it makes a little sense, but at the same time it's like you gotta have a little more leniency or like
Yeah,
because some things aren't gender and some people put it into a gender like that's not emotions isn't a gender thing like
Can I add a question to that? I don't know. This probably had no effect on your guys' relationship, or maybe it did. I don't really know. But I know that my brother grew up in a house full of women, and he learned a lot of what he knows about women from video games and playing with the boys and what the boys have to say. And he's very single right now. And I
So that
think
worked out.
right. And so I guess I have a question for like the guys in the room. Like, I don't know if you guys had like I know you said you didn't have like you had like your uncle and stuff, but did your friends and the way your friends reacted to things have an effect on how you wanted to treat women or be with women and things like that in a relationship?
No, because I got 4 best friends. One recently just passed away about 2 years ago, but my best friend he had his father in a home. Well, all 3 of them had their father in a home, but we all actually learned from each other growing up, and we had male figures that we played sports for 'em. So that's how we learned from each other. And then, just growing up in the hood, in the ghetto, man, we seen so much stuff that we just knew. And, we seen guys that were alcoholics. We knew, like, oh, nope, that's something we don't do. We seen drug addicts. Up, nope, that's something we don't do. We seen men literally beating up on women. No, that's something we don't do. And that was something that was definitely not tolerated in my home. So my cousin told me, you don't never put your hands on a woman, period. You know what I'm saying? Now, if she's in your way, you can literally just move out the way and go and get to your destination, but you don't do those things. And we learned from each other. So and my wife will tell you that to this day we still hold each other to a higher standard and we talk to each other. Like I can tell you this. I want to say about a few months ago, me and my wife, we had a situation with our daughters, right? And it was something that was going on so heavily that it cast it on to me that it brought a deeper, darker outside of me that it was so mad that we started to argue so heavy. She told me, you know what? You gonna have to stay with your dang on mom until you cool off, until you come back to reality. It took me calling my brother up and saying, "Hey, bro, I'm having a situation with the wife, and I'm doing things that I would never do and saying things that I would never say, and I'm tripping." And it just took that one phone call and me and him talking. And after I got off the phone with him, I went back, talked to my wife. She listened, and then she was like, "All right, I get it." And it's like everything that I was feeling just went lifted off of me because we held each other to a standard. He's married, I'm married, and we know each other. And he was like, he called me by my nickname, and he was like, "Man, that's not you. I know you." He was like, "Think about the creed that we go by. That's not you. I need you to get it together, man. You have a wife, you have kids. That is not you." So that's why I'm saying we hold each other to that creed, to that standard. That's how I learned how to be a man. That's how I learned how to stand on my own 2 feet. When I mean we held each other by a creed, when we was in high school, we didn't let each other fall.
Mm-hmm.
When we had problems with women, we talked to each other. If we were sitting here talking foul to our moms, "Hey, bro, what is you doing? Why you talking foul to moms like that? You tripping." Ain't like that. And I guarantee you, if I slip up and start doing something right now, she can call up one of my boys right now, my brother. "Psst, hey, Corey up in here tripping. Really? I'm on a flight right now. I'm coming home to Gary. They gonna come hand me up because
After
they
I
ain't
finish-
playing that.
After I finish first.
You know what I'm saying? You know, so they ain't playing. So it's like it took that phone call, and man, it's like I thank God for having them in my life and whatever else, and that's good. And then like I say, I met Swill now, and me and him becoming real good people, and it's like, yeah, it's just that I got friends that just hold me to a higher standard, man, and I just can't do it. So yeah.
That's
Can-
amazing. I love that. It's like you're only as good as your circle of friends. And if you don't have people, I've heard this before, if you don't have people around you lifting you up, you don't have a circle, you have a cage.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's so important
Yeah.
that the people
Yeah.
around you are encouraging
Yeah.
you to be a better person.
Yeah.
Hashtag if you don't have a circle, you have a cage. Okay.
I can give you a different side of that. Oh, well, let me ask you, Jared. Did you grow up with your father around? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh yeah, my parents are still married.
Okay, cool. I grew up in a very religious household.
Me
so yeah, okay, so I grew up as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, so it was a little different.
You're more so religious.
Yeah, it wasn't that it was strict. It was just, when you're so tied into the congregation, you're seeing a lot of different examples of different married people, and you kind of have you know what's what, and you see the all stars of marriage and the people who aren't doing so well, and you can kind of attest to that. But I was only in that organization until I was 18, and then I moved out, and then I got to experience it away from home, away from everything I knew, and on a very independent, in a very independent way. So some things that I learned growing up, how to treat a woman, how to communicate, things like that. I had those things instilled in me. But when you get out on your own and you're doing your own thing, you kind of just do what you want. I had to learn the hard way of how to communicate, on how to get through things, how to express myself. I learned very, very quick that for a man, the world isn't really a safe place all the time for your feelings. It doesn't accept your feelings. The way that, especially when I was, I've been in a sales atmosphere since I was 18 years old as well. And in that atmosphere, it's like, hey man, you gotta fend for your own. You don't have time to sit around and cry. Like no one cares about your feelings. One of my managers used to say all the time, your problems don't make you special.
Wow.
That was just how life was for me for a very long time. What I learned is that it took the right person to establish a level of trust. And like Coach, like you and Lex say, how you guys built that bond and you were able to trust each other. She was able to trust you with her feelings and her problems, knowing that you would step in, and vice versa. You were able to have those vulnerable emotions that we don't show as men, with her. And you mentioned the same thing, Jared. You mentioned, that you were very closed off and that Kate was able to open you up. I don't know if that's something that you experienced as well with
I'm the
Q,
closed
but
off one.
really, so it's opposite. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. I grew up not. As an adult, I didn't show my emotions at all. Like I would give you what you needed, and when it came to me, I'm good. You don't need to, I'm not. If I cry somewhere way far off where you do. I think I cried in front of exes maybe once or twice because I didn't see my father cry, but once or twice. So I felt like maybe that's just something that we do. And it took me a very long time and took the right person to kind of open up and say, okay, it's okay to have feelings. And even then, I would fight it. I would show a little and then go back in my shell, show a little and then go back in my shell for even longer because I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. And especially when as a man, you give a little bit of that vulnerability and then it comes up in an argument or
gets weaponized.
it gets weaponized.
Mm.
That's then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I opened up and this is what you do with it. Okay, no, never again, right? That's a very and that's I think that happens to every man where you try to open up to someone and then they're not the right person, and then you end up getting burned by that, and that just makes you dig a deeper hole. But
You weaponize my emotions. It's the
Yeah.
beginning of our failed relationship.
right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
man,
I think
it's
that
just-
goes both ways too, though, with women
Yeah.
being called names,
Right.
like
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
because they
Mhm.
express their emotions
Yeah.
too much, right? And so it's also like they get attacked for having emotions
yeah,
just as much as again like men feel attacked for again not being expressive.
I
of
feel on the
emotions.
opposite end, women get targeted a lot for talking too much about their emotions. Like I get not that I get told a lot, but me and my girls, I'll say that we get like mutually told that we express too much of our emotions. We talk too much about it that they don't like to talk about it like that. So it feels like kind of off kiltered. You have to find your balance with that.
Yeah.
I
And
feel
then-
like
But-
as
And
as-
even as I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
go ahead.
As even as a woman as well, if you're experiencing certain things and you remain strong, so to speak, and they see, well, you probably not having any issues or anything, so nobody really checks up on you. Oh, she seemed to be fine or everything, but deep down she's the one that's really going through it. She just don't have that outlet to who she can talk to with that, so she has no choice but to bottle it in and keep it in. Sometimes it's by choice. It's not like if we do want to express our feelings, and it's like, well, there's nobody around whom I'm gonna talk to about that. So now you have to remain strong because life goes on. You still have to do all the things, especially if you're a mother. It really doesn't. The world doesn't stop. You have to do for your children. You have to do for your household. So at this point, oh yeah, she's doing everything. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with her. She's okay. No, she's not. She also could be breaking too, because even depression runs silent as well. And just because you don't say nothing about it, don't mean nobody's not experienced it.
When you say that we feel closed off or we're not allowed to express our emotions because it's how you're raised or
Mhm.
what was beat into you, not necessarily beat into you, but pushed in your brain. But as little as I know you, if you were to like want to talk about something and you wanted to open up, I would listen. And I'm
Right.
sure there's tons of other people or other men
Mhm.
who feel the same way,
Mhm.
but we all feel the same way of we can't speak about it. But
Right.
I would be here for you to speak whatever you wanted to, or to cry, or to talk about something that's hard, or and
What's weird is as men, you don't hear that though.
Mm-hmm.
well, you don't talk about it.
Yeah, you don't talk about it.
You
It's
may
like-
feel that way,
Yeah.
but nobody,
Yeah,
I don't want you to think I'm soft.
right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah,
right.
Like for some reason, I
Yeah.
don't know why.
It's only,
Yeah.
That's
you
funny.
you do. It depends on your circle. Like I say,
Yeah.
my circle is different. Me and my boys, my brothers.
Well,
Hey,
y'all grew up together too.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's
Yeah,
there's
so
that
y'all know-
trust.
That's
so
that.
y'all know
There's
each
that
other.
trust.
That's that bond.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, what 20, 30 years is like, hey, bro, I'm here for you if you need me.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's only if you grew up with somebody for that long. But, I tell anybody if, like, I'm meeting them for the first time, like, hey, bro, hey, look like you going through something. Hey, man, if you need me. I tell young boys that, hey, off rip. Hey, you may not hear it at home, but hey, coach care about you. Coach love you. Hey, I need you to come to practice. I need you to do what you need to do. But hey, if you can't talk to nobody at home, come talk to Coach Corey.
There's
Just come talk to me.
it's also that thing of like, Jared, you mentioned, like I ain't soft, but when you're with your partner, right? You want to be vulnerable, and you want to you want to be able to share your feelings, but at the same time, you want them to know that you could protect them.
Yeah,
It's so weird how, just because I'm telling you my feelings isn't, but in a man's brain, sometimes we equate that to, if I'm being vulnerable, then that means that I'm losing credibility of some sort to be able to protect my family or to be able to protect my loved ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Me and my ex broke up because he compartmentalized a lot. He didn't want me to know a lot of things that he would tell his boys, and he didn't want his boys to know a lot of things that he would tell me. He didn't want his worlds to mix because he had everything divided up too much, and he's like, in my head, that's what makes it work.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't mix it. I can't have one person knowing too much information about me because they'll use it against me.
Just reinforcing shame doing
Right.
that. Yeah.
And I would be like, I would never judge you. I would sit here and be like, go for it. Like, what am I going to say? Oh, don't do that.
Yes.
Like, it happened. Right. And I guess that, like, that's more popular than I thought when it comes to men.
No.
They like to compartmentalize a
No.
lot.
It's
No?
funny. It's funny you say that because my wife is she'll, like if I'm going through something real, a little more deep, she'll be like, "Hey, go talk to your boys. Go talk to your brother about certain things, because there might be certain things you can't talk to me about, and I know you need to go." She like, you know what? Go out. You know what I'm saying? And she know where I'm going. She know I'm either going to coach, or she know I'm going to hang out with my brother or my boys, because she know I'm going to talk to them about certain things that I just can't talk to her about, or I talk to her about the exact same thing, and if she just can't give me the answer, then I'm going to talk to them about the exact same thing, and then boom, a light bulb going to come off in my head. They going to give me the exact same answer, but the light going to click on now.
That's what makes it funny. It'd be the exact same thing I just said.
Yeah.
But I guess I had to talk in a deeper voice.
The delivery is different.
Probably take some testosterone. I don't know.
And they come
what
and
is it
tell you
gonna
like
take?
it wasn't something that you said. Like,
Right.
I told you that already, though.
I guess that makes sense though, because sometimes I go out with the girls, and when they be telling me something, I'll be like, you right. Like, like I get it, right? But
There's also a level of maturity that comes with being able to, for a man to be able to break down and do that.
Yes.
The compartmentalization that you mentioned that he was doing, like I can only imagine he was probably under 25, right?
yeah.
He's probably a young guy with experience and age. You tend to, you don't try to make the same mistakes over and over.
Mhm.
Try to recognize patterns and different things like that. In my first marriage, I was not a really great communicator. I wasn't a great husband at all at all. And I grew up learning how, like, that's from the time I was 8 years old. We are taught how to run a household and how to be a husband.
Yeah.
How to be, and you see it both ways, how to be a good, compassionate husband. And then you see it both ways, like I'm the head of the household type way. And I didn't do it the right way the first time around, but that was because of, just not me just being a young guy, but just being inexperienced in relationships.
You're trying to figure life out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we
No
don't
doubt.
teach this
Yeah.
stuff in school, like, right? Like, we learn a whole bunch of stuff we don't really need. But when do we learn about, like, communication
Right.
and how to express our
Right.
feelings and how to,
Yeah.
like, actively listen and actively
Mhm.
receive and hold space for people? Like,
Right.
the
And then with
true
social
knowledge.
media too, like that's
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
been a
That's even
huge thing
worse.
recently.
And
Yeah.
that's
I have a
strange.
question about social media. I'm sorry.
Go
Do you
ahead.
so with the social media, do you guys follow each other on everything? And like when it comes to the different platforms, is it like, we can have this one or we can't, or like what- how that work?
So we both on Facebook and we both got Instagram, but that's about it.
But it's not like we're trolling each other.
Y'all
Yeah.
friends though, like
Yeah.
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 So
I
Y'all
feel
been
like
together for
Snapchat's
17
off the
years, so I'm
table,
pretty
though.
sure y'all.
But
Snapchat's off the table.
Yeah, I if you can delete, I don't know. It's just sketchy. I
So
don't.
you don't like Snapchat?
Yeah, anything else?
Yeah,
Like
I
I'm not
don't-
checking his
I don't
stuff.
Yeah,
do
but
But
that.
I agree with you. I don't do Snapchat.
I
I was
don't
like,
either.
I wouldn't do it, so I don't think
I
it
don't
should
even
be.
I don't do
understand it,
Snapchat. What TikTok? I don't
I ain't done that either.
Right.
none of that. So
So
like,
with me and my husband, I have a Facebook, but he don't.
oh okay.
So
So he can't follow you. He don't.
he don't follow me, and like on birthdays, Veteran Day, like I be posting him, and he not on there. He just like
Yeah.
I'm cool
So
without
like,
it.
shit.
And I
yeah.
kind of like that part too because you see boys on Facebook, you be like, ugh, like just delete it, like. What are you on here for?
Oh, I actually mess with him. Actually, that's what I do mostly.
So that
on
made me
there.
mad too because I like see funny stuff and I can't send it to him because you
And
gotta
she
open
do
it on
and
Facebook.
she do it all the time.
So
like,
I made him
love-
log into mine.
Like
now.
love funny memes. She'll send me something and I laugh at it. I'll be like, yeah, that's us. That's us.
Mhm.
That's
Or
us.
you
Or
know,
like-
or you'll send a 4-page letter. He just say, yeah.
Or like when
Yeah.
you're in a relationship, you want to be like, "Oh, this is my husband," but he doesn't have a Facebook, so it just says she's married.
I literally, I'm like at him and I'll be like at no Facebook keys. Like,
But like I mean, back to what one of the things that Swill was saying, like we were taught, you know, at a young age that, you know, as a man growing up, you know, this is what you're supposed to do and this is what you ain't supposed to do, this and that. I can remember how I knew that I loved her and I was like, eventually I was gonna marry her. And this is funny. I was working a job. I couldn't stand it. It was a security job. I was like, man, I really couldn't stand this job. I used to do some odd stuff. And I'm like, man, I really can't stand this job. I hate it. Da, da, da. And I'm like, you know, it's like, I'm done. I was like, I don't even know what else to do. But I was like, you know what? Nope. It's like, I had a girlfriend and she got 2 little girls. And I was like, you know what? Nope. I got to keep going because I don't know how this is all going to play out. Man, she literally came to me, looked me dead square in my eyes. She's like, you need to go and leave. She's like, just quit. I was like, time out. Time out. You telling me to quit this job. Yeah, quit the job. Don't worry about it. I hold it down. I was like, this different from my last relationship. My last relationship, she was like told me, you leave a job, I can't support both of us. Like, you know, like, you sure? Yeah, don't worry about it. I got this. And that's exactly what I did. I left. And I think I ain't have a job for about a good couple of months though, right? And she literally held it down. She wasn't on my back, nothing of this and that. If she found something, she was like, hey, this person is hiring, that person is hiring. And I was up, moving around, trying to find a job. And then there was a point in time I got frustrated. I was like, man, I can't find nothing. This ain't nothing. And she just, don't worry about it. Calm down. You gonna find something. And then it's when I found out we was finna have my first son. And I'm like, man, it's like, ooh, it's like, no, it was like, now you're pregnant. And I was like, man, I'm still getting frustrated. Don't worry about it. You're gonna find something. Then I want to say after my son was born in November of 2009, January of 2010, that's when I found the job. And I held that job down for like nearly close to 2 years. And I just looked at it, I was like, man, you amazing. That's all I said to her. I was like, for you to hold it down and I didn't have a job, I was like, you amazing. And that's when I knew right then. And I was like, you know what? God, you amazing because you sent me one because ain't no woman going to tell most men to be like, hey, leave. And I got this.
Mm-hmm.
And she held it down with no problem and everything else. And I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. I was like, I ain't going nowhere. I was like, I'm straight.
Yeah,
It's like, I'm straight. That's like, I got one. I was like, I'm in love.
I think
I
some
told
of
my
that's
mom that.
gender roles, right? Like that,
Yeah.
you know, because like we are able to work and be functional. And like, I know my partner stays like he's the one who does all the grocery shopping. He does all the cleaning.
Yeah.
He does all the stuff. And like, I go to work and like, and we do have that partnership and he like builds me cool shit and does cool things and whatever. But yeah, it's not
Yeah.
for everybody, right? Like in regards to like the roles and what we think is also like normal.
Yeah,
you
because
know?
like
Mhm.
right now, like I don't even work because of my back. I got a messed up back right now. And she's the one working, going to school, but I'm the one that's at the crib, holding everything down, doing everything. And I don't have no problem with it. I'm like, all right, anybody else coming in the household? Hey, you don't know what's going on in my household. So if you ain't hit a wish piece, man, you got to go. Plain and simple. Because you don't know our household. You don't know our marriage. You don't know what our foundation is built on. So you got to go. But other than that, yeah, that's just us.
That's amazing.
And we happy.
And that's like
That's all that matters.
such a profound way to build trust right at the beginning too. Like that's what I wanted to ask y'all about, since we were on that topic earlier, being more vulnerable, more open. And obviously we all have trauma and stuff that we're working through from our past that gets in the way of being open. So how do you build trust? How do you allow yourself to be open? Like what components do you need to feel relaxed in that way? Like how have you done that in your relationships?
Well, for me, like I said, it took time. It took me a while. It took me some years, actually. And it's just that moment where you just really have to let go. You have to let go of the thoughts in your head and realizing that this person is here for you. That was one of the keys that kind of helped me because, yeah, my wall was up. And I mean, like I said, we've been together this time for years. My wall is still up. Like, yeah, I was functioning here and there, but it was still that lingering thought in the back of my head is this the moment? Is he going to be like, I'm tired of this? Is this going to be like, or if I'm going to say I'm tired of this, is this going to be the end of us or anything like
shoe
that?
dropping.
Exactly. So it's just more like just letting go and try to be positive. And especially, it's hard sometimes to trust, but I think it's basically what it is, a lot of communication, a lot of time, and it's just, and trusting, believing, having faith.
Yeah.
It's another thing. Believe that this person is going to be. And usually the truth always comes out. That's how I look at it. The truth always reveals itself. It might be today, tomorrow, maybe years from now.
Yeah.
But it's always revealed what this purpose of you meeting this person in your life. And was there a reason behind it? 'Cause I look at my exes and I think the same thing. Like, well, I try to think of why I met this person and why this person come into my life. But a lot of it was lessons being taught. So now I know what to look for when I try to find a man. I know what not to do. Or I see the red flags. I see the signs.
Yeah.
So I will know, okay, this is not for me, or it is. But as time kept going by and that reinsurance just kept coming, it's like, okay, let me let go of this thought. Let me let go of that thought. He's actually here.
Consistent.
It's all
Follow
about
through.
consistency. It has to continue to be consistent. And I use the metaphor all the time about a car, even though I know most of you men use the car metaphor. But it's the same thing because I see you guys on the cars all the time. And it's like, okay, if you don't change your carburetor, if you don't change that oil every 3,000 miles, what's going to happen to your car? If you don't wash your car every once in a while, take it out for a spin, what's going to happen with your car? Relationships run the same exact way. You have to continue. You can't just, okay, I got the car and now I'm going to keep it. And that's it. No, you have to put maintenance, you have to put time, you have to put effort into how you want this to function, how you want it to run. And it's on both parties. It's not just one. And once everybody find that common ground, and yeah, things can work out. Like it's gonna be some bumps, yeah. There's gonna be some disagreements. We don't see eye to eye. Even how we eat, how we cook, how we do everything. It's just sometimes I do stuff that probably get on his nerves now, vice versa.
I just
Working
laugh
here.
at it.
I will say, I'm bi, and a lot of the time, like you're gonna come across people who are like not okay with that, and people who are, especially like if I'm dating a man. And I get hit on by a lot of women when I go out, and it's mostly because I'm a girl's girl, and I just connect more with women, But like I feel like if I'm just open up front, I don't want no surprises to come later, And I've kind of touched on this a little bit earlier too, but I'm not gonna be someone I'm not just so this person could potentially like me. I'm gonna get liked regardless, or if I'm too much or I'm too little, I'm gonna find someone who vibes with me in that way. And that's just tough if you don't, like I'm not going to waste my time on that. And I feel like it's important to be vulnerable and out there. Yeah, there's going to be people who are going to take advantage of that, but imagine meeting someone like right away that's like, "Oh, I like that vibe. Let's hang out. Let me see you more," right? It's way better. It's way better. And I think that's why I make a lot of friends really easily too. Like I just get out there and I put myself out there, and I'm gonna always have people that are gonna have my back, and and maybe I do vibe with women a little bit more most of the time, but it's mostly because they get me a lot more of the time too. Like they understand me and they see me, whereas I'm very different from a lot of the guys that I date. We have very different types. I like girly girls when it comes to girls, and I like manly mans when it comes to men. Like we're very different vibes, right? And so it's just finding like this common ground and understanding. And when I feel understood and appreciated, especially by a man who like comes up to me and he's like, "Oh, I love that for you. I love that woman like you. That's great." And he's not like, "Oh, hey, can we bring another girl in?" Like that would make me so mad, And so, first of all, I don't like to share. Second of all, like I love when a man can appreciate me, and I really love when someone can accept me like for who I am immediately. And so I don't like putting on fake fronts for people. And I'd rather someone like me for who I am in the moment than think I'm someone else and continue to pretend to be that someone else. That's so stressful and hard. You're like, what did I tell this person? What do I have to remember? And it's just,
Be authentic.
yeah, you got to be authentic and vulnerable.
And I think that was one of the things that draw him too, because I would tell everybody I'm very eccentric. Do the most weirdest things, say the most weirdest things, act weird, and I even ask myself, you sure? Because this is me. This is me all day, every day. I'm just like you. I'm not going to change who I am. It's just about how you tolerate.
Please don't.
Yeah. So when you yourself,
Yeah.
I think everything falls into place, and I think that's when you get and find whoever it is you're looking for. If you just be yourself, because that's how he did. He fell into my lap. I wasn't even searching at the time. And I don't know if he was searching or not, even though I say it was like the process of elimination. Even though he don't want to admit that, because you were talking to 4 of the females as you were talking to me. You didn't want to bring that part up. You didn't bring that part up. And then for some reason now for some reason you started calling me every night from that point on. So it was something about me.
I want to talk about it.
It was
He
something
chose you,
I'm
and
just
he
saying.
chose you.
Exactly.
Right? He said, "You're the bomb.
It
I don't need another."
it just happened. It just happened. Anyways, Jay, okay. So how did y'all build y'all trust?
I was literally about to ask. I was gonna just go down the couples, but
Yeah.
since you're deflecting, we might as well
you're
go ahead.
deflecting, man. You're deflecting. Open up.
Okay. All right. So basically, when I got back home, I ain't.
You were
Yeah.
busy.
I done told you the story already.
It was Keisha. It was
When-
Sonya.
no.
It was Honey.
Look.
Mamba
It was
number
like
five.
Look, when we had this discussion a long time ago, and when you actually asked me, what if we was in high school, like years and years ago, would I have talked to you? And I told you
You wouldn't
off
have.
rip, no, I wouldn't talk to you. And the reason why I told you is because that I knew how I was in high school. I wasn't trying to be with no one woman. I was out trying to sell my royal oats. You know what I'm saying? Look, I ain't gonna lie, I was dating just about every type of female I could at high school. Look, if you're not from the city of Gary, back in the in 90s, we had Roosevelt, Horseman, Lew Wallace, Wirt, and
West Side.
Westside.
Oh, each neighborhood.
I was
Each
talking to
archetype of
girls
woman.
all around the city of
Cheerleader.
Gary, okay? But
Sometimes too
when I
many
got
girls.
back home, there were certain girls that I were talking to. But just when I happened to come across my wife at the time, it was just that, I wasn't really like talking to nobody. I was just getting to know females, and it just happened. And like when I started talking to her, it's just like things just started happening. It was like we started connecting on a totally different level than the other previous females that I was talking to. And I was like, hold on, wait a minute. It's like, see, she talking about something different. She's talking about, but this one here, we like just the flow of the nature is like, man, wait, hold up, wait a minute. Like, normally I'd be like, man, hey man, okay, what, such a call, but man, I ain't trying to have. But when she called, I'm like, oh, pick up. Normally, I don't do that. Like I said, I ain't picking that one up. I ain't picking that one up. Blowing that one off. Blowing up. She called, I picked that phone up. I'm not staying on the phone with the others late at night like that. I'm not asking her, hey, yo, so when can we see each other? When can I take you out? This and that, No. It just happened. It just happened. And I was just like, okay, I get it.
Meant to be.
It was meant to
Energetically
be.
connected.
It was the energy. That's what it exactly was.
Yeah.
By talking to her on the phone, the energy. And then I started looking, I was like, man, she likes some of the same things I like. She said she used to play sports. I was like, she called me right there. I used to play sports. Then she started talking about some of the same movies that I like. I'm like, okay. Then I started, that sense of humor that's what got me. I love a woman's sense of humor.
Banter.
I was
She
like,
gives it back to you. I love
boom.
that.
I was like, the sense of humor caught me right there. I was like, said and done. Real men.
When
I
you
was like-
first learn to swim, you're gonna be really attracted to those floaties, those things that are gonna keep you above the water until you learn to swim and you can do it on your own.
Right.
And then they're just decorations at
Exactly.
that
So
point,
it
right?
was
You're
just
the
like-
water.
That's what it was. And then it was just like, it just happened. And like, say, for 2 months, we talking on the phone, didn't see each other, this and that. I mean, I knew what she looked like. So I was like, all right, cool, whatever else. But it just happened. And the other girls just trickled off.
But also, too, you thought I did catfish you.
Yeah, I thought I was getting catfish for a minute because it's like, you know how like somebody send you a page, it's like a modeling page,
Mm-hmm.
and you be thinking like, man, and then I hit up for us like, man, is this a real page? Then she sent me a real page. I was like, okay, side by side. All right,
Because
okay.
I was doing some modeling back then. too.
So
Real name's Billy.
That's like the equivalent.
right, you know what I'm saying?
That's the equivalent of today's age of people meeting on dating apps and then
Yeah.
being like,
Right.
"Oh, let me see your Snapchat. I want to make
Right.
sure you're real, right?" Like,
And it felt good. And then how my mom knew, I brought her home to meet my mom, and then my mom just knew like, yeah, he don't bring too many girls home at all. And mom, no, she's like, he don't bring no girls at home. No, nope. So like the girl I was dating in Wisconsin, that was the first like girl my mom met. And then when I brought her home, my mom was like, yeah, it's something about you because he don't bring nobody home to meet me at all. And my mom liked it instantly. I was like, we good.
Can I ask you a question, Ayor, real quick? Not to cut you off, but
You good.
with your relationship with Q, how did you guys break that wall down? Because you mentioned that you were the one that had the wall up the most.
We still working on it.
Still working
I'm
on
a
it.
work in progress.
Still
But
working.
I know that I'm the one. So like
Mm-hmm.
it helps that I work on myself
That's good.
because I would be like, I don't want to talk about it. Or I'd be like, all right, never mind. Or like if I say something initially and you don't address it, don't worry about it. Like, but I'm learning how to not be like that because he do need time or he might need a little, and then he'll like fix the whole problem. You'll be like, oh, okay, cool.
Has
But
it always been that way, or did you become jaded at one point?
yeah, I wasn't like that always. My first real relationship, just messed my whole head up. So so now it's like
Got you.
I be trying to not deflect on him because I know it's not him. Everybody's not the same, and my husband is like the total opposite of the first one, my baby dad. But it's like, men are men sometimes. So in the back of my mind, it just be like, you will still act like that, or you will still do that, or like. But yeah,
can
What
I ask you a
helps you?
question too? Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, what helps you like feel more comfortable?
what helps me, him. Honest, it's him because he's like the real open one. He's the one that expresses his feelings. Like he had to really make me express my feelings because I didn't grow up in a home where you express yourself. It's more like they didn't just tell the boys don't cry. It was
Yeah.
girls too. Like
Oh, yeah.
just
Yeah.
So it's really him.
Sorry. Earlier you mentioned social media and you asked about like the couples
Mhm.
who do they use like Snapchat and like the same apps like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason why you were asking like about Snapchat? Like
No, I was asking about social media in general because
Okay.
I was just trying to see if it like because they've been together for so long and like we're kind of young and it'd be like social media is like, I don't, like a big thing for
Right.
us being young. I was just trying to see like if it's like a
Because
Uh,
I wanted to speak on that a little bit because I know my best friend, her and her husband, they banned like all social medias. They said no because they felt that even though they knew they could trust each other, they couldn't trust other people. And so they didn't want any social medias to come and play. They just want to keep their relationship private and offline. And I'm the opposite. I want to know exactly who my person's talking to, who they like, what kind of things they like. That's why I like social media for that kind of reason. And also on Snapchat, I can track his location with. He doesn't know that.
Oh, jeez. Oh, wow.
He
Yeah,
don't
he
know
has
that
to
I
know.
know where he's at if he's telling the truth. And I know that I don't. It's not that I don't trust him, but I like that. I don't have to ask him for it. Like, I just know it and I don't question him about it or bring it up. And also, he sends me pictures throughout the day, like, oh, I'm here and I'm here. How's your day? And it's like FaceTime, but I don't actually have to conversate. And it's,
I think it
It's-
speaks to like a trusting thing too. Like,
yeah.
Can I- Oh, go ahead.
Because I know that I can't control other people's actions. And I'm
Right.
also one of those people that's like fight or flight. Like
Okay.
I love you to death today, but tomorrow I'll be okay and I'll leave you.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta like build that trust and know that like it'll be okay. Like,
I
like
feel-
she said, you gotta like really those positive thoughts and those positive. You gotta really speak it and think it.
I
Mhm.
feel like that's not being 100% open when your friend says that they don't trust other people, so they don't have social media. Because if you're messaging me on Facebook,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter,
Right.
right?
I think.
I have to have a conversation with you, and you're a complete stranger,
Mhm.
and then something has to develop there, and
Mhm.
then all of a sudden that has nothing to do with you.
I think
right?
it was mostly like they allow TikTok because her friends are on TikTok and she does have a Snapchat, but she's only allowed to have like her friends on her Snapchat, like me and her other best friends. And he has the same rule. They're like, we'll allow it if like we can control who we know is on there, because they've had incidents in the past where they've had like ex-girlfriends reach out and be like, hey, how are you? How are things? I've seen you and your baby mama. And he's like, you mean my wife? And like, and
At that point, you just don't respond.
Right,
Like,
and
there-
but
Yeah.
it's he
there's
would
no
show
other
her.
option.
He would show
Exactly,
her at that
yeah.
point, and because he doesn't want her to not know that happened. But once he shows her, now she's like, oh my gosh, like this happened. And it's not that she doesn't trust him, but now she has this built up thing inside of her that could have just totally been avoided
Is
had
that
they
an-
had private.
Is that an insecurity?
Yeah, definitely
think
between the
it's
two of them. And I think them not having social media helps that, except for like the things where they're like, okay, these are the things, and they work through it together. Whereas me, I would be like, I literally don't care. I don't care. You can message all you want. I have this one rule. If you cheat, good luck, because we're done. You could pack up your stuff and you can leave. I'm not going to waste my time being
I
upset
think
or
most
angry about
everyone
it.
got that rule.
Right? Like I'm not going to waste my energy being upset or like upset that I lost you, because at the end of the day, you did me a favor. Like that's just how I look at things. I don't get insecure about things like that, but like it's like weird to see the different sides of social media when it comes to couples and people.
It's weird, different people's what works for them, because I may not necessarily, and I try not to judge other people's relationships, but because that doesn't, I could never imagine myself telling her what to do into anything.
Mm.
I can't imagine anyone telling her what to do.
You can't.
You're right.
But, if I don't like something that she's doing, it's like, hey, I don't like this, so either I remove myself from the entire situation, or you change. That's your decision.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not telling you to stop. If you're not, if alcohol doesn't work for you, and I'm not gonna tell you to stop drinking alcohol, but I'm just letting you know that I will leave.
Yeah, and
I'll
that's
just
a
remove
problem that we had.
myself from the equation. But she chose me instead of the alcohol, but she didn't have to. Like
Right.
I'm never
Right.
gonna tell her to not have social media, or to not, who she can and can't have as friends. And
And that's
You
a
know,
great way
I
to build
trust-
trust.
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
I have to, if I can't trust her to make the best decision, what good is a relationship in general?
Exactly.
Right?
There's
What,
other
what
problems
is your
going on.
foundation
Yeah.
really built on? Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's it's very unhealthy and to assume that you have control over the person.
I'm not
right?
saying that it's
Yeah.
healthy.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Well, that couple sounds like they have a joint Facebook account, and you can definitely like pinpoint somebody cheated in that relationship. And it says blah blah and blah blah.
Definitely.
I think
Yeah.
too they had a kid really young, so they're growing up in social media age, having a kid and bearing through problems. There's been other things like he was in the military and he got kicked out. And so they went from having a home and a place to live to now both of them have to work and balance the kid.
Right.
And now these extra little insecurities, like they don't need that. They want those things because they want to relate to people their age, but then they also have these insecurities because their relationship is still very fragile. And so I feel I love that for her, but I'm also like, I'm gonna show up if he tells you can't be friends with me on Facebook because we're gonna have a problem, right?
Mhm.
And so
But we
Well,
can
the one
only
thing that
control
works
ourselves
Yeah.
too, right? Like we can't control other people, and
Mhm.
so
Right.
like
Right.
you know, every action though has a reaction. So how we act and react.
You're gonna be
Yeah.
crazy disappointed if you think you can control someone because you're not, and if you, I don't know.
It's
I
a
think
lot
that's
of
what
it
makes
just sounds
wasted.
stressful.
A lot of energy.
I think
Girl.
it's got to be stressful on both parts, though.
Girl,
with
yeah,
that.
but
the amount
we
of-
love
the-
them.
the amount of, when you
I
start,
think that it helps my relationship that he lets me do what I want. Like
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
It isn't like I'm gonna judge you or I'm gonna feel this way if you do this, or I will. Like he'll express himself, but it ain't like a ultimatum or
or
like
control.
a, like a
Yeah.
controlling situation.
But like if your partner asked you not to have social media, like if they were like, "Hey, this is like a really big insecurity of mine and I don't like it," would you guys
I
get
would
rid
quit,
of it?
I would quit out of respect for her,
Right.
but she would never ask me that, or she would never tell me to. Now she would be.
What if it
It
was
would
like
have
important?
to, it would
though?
have to be a situational thing
Mhm.
Right.
to make her
Exactly.
feel that way, and I will
Yeah.
never give her that opportunity to
Yeah.
feel that way.
But at the
I will
same,
never put her in that position to feel
Right.
insecure.
Mhm.
And people, people do that shit on purpose.
Mhm.
You know,
Mm.
you went to the club, you entertained that guy, you gave him the idea, man or woman, you gave them the idea that they had a chance, or it's different being cordial,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I consider if she was to talk with a guy at a bar and make him feel like he has a chance, that's cheating to me.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
you lost everything with me, but like she would have to put herself in that position, and she
Right.
doesn't.
Mhm.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I've never given her a reason to. Well, I said, listen, one story real quick. So I was working in North Carolina, and
Oh, that was a good one.
she wasn't traveling with me. Obviously, we were just dating. I played my escape from. I work a lot. I work 60 to 70 hours a week, so 6 days a week, every week.
So y'all
all
be
year.
glad he's here tonight.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes, for
I work
sure.
a lot, and a lot of people work a lot, and I wish I did my life better where I didn't have to. But anyway, so I'm in North Carolina working, and my escape from all of that is to play video games. So I got a rain out, and I'm in my camper, and all the shades are blacked out because I don't like sunlight, I don't like daytime, and
Or happiness.
it's my happiness. So I put my headphones on. I'm playing video games. The next thing you know, she's called me half a dozen times, and I don't hear it. I have headphones on. I finally hear it, and I call her, and she's freaking out. Well, she has my location, and it's showing me in a neighborhood at some
A
house
nice
over here.
neighborhood.
And I'm like FaceTime her. I'm like, look at the hours on this game. Like, there's nobody here, And that was very early in our relationship.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Do you guys believe in sharing locations?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
We we always have.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
my husband.
If I'm
okay.
dead in a ditch, you better you come running. Like
Mhm.
my mom has my location, all my friends, my granny, my papa.
I can
Like I
understand
will
that.
give anyone my location. I
Yeah.
need you to find me if something happens
When
to
you
me.
don't have a guilty conscience,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got.
I will
Sam's
I
over
will
here.
leave my phone on the couch, and she can go through it at any time.
Yeah.
She knows what porn categories I watch. She knows
Lame.
Boring.
There's nothing on my phone that she's gonna get upset about.
I mean,
Nothing. And
here-
if she leaves her phone sitting there, and for whatever reason I got on her phone, I've never in our relationship ever went to her.
Love
If
that.
I did get on her phone, she would not think a single thing of it, and nothing would waver in her.
No, I'd be like, "What are you getting off of Amazon?"
It's she
I
can
had to walk
she
around
can
with his
have
phone.
she
My
can
phone
have
is
my
private.
location.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing
I
there's
mean,
nothing wrong with
I
it.
can understand the location because she know if like during the daytime is good, but if she coming home from work, I know she with her cousin, but she know that I'ma call her by a certain time because it's dark. Hey, you all right? You good? Because it's dark out. And I used to do my mom like that. Did you make it to work okay? Because I'm a stickler for that. I don't like women driving in the dark by themselves at all. I just, that's just me and anything else. And, but I was going to ask this question. So, how do you know when your significant other is, say, like in another room or another part in the house? Because she know me, like, easily. Like, just say if Jared was in a room, how do you know he was in that room? By what?
Be
I
more
know what he mean.
specific.
So, like, for instance, if I was if I was in the bedroom, because I normally be in the
I
man
can help
cave,
you.
right?
I can help you. I can help you. I can help you. Watch
Go ahead.
this. So, I'm a person.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm in the house, it might be like 1 or 2 lights on. This is how I know my husband's home. All the lights is on.
Boom.
I got one.
Yeah.
There's cups out on the table.
Yeah.
It leaves
So,
cups everywhere.
When
It's
When-
like you
if
use one cup.
if I'm in the bedroom, how do you know that I was in the bedroom?
Simple. ESPN. It's
It's on the
always
TV.
on the TV. You would turn it on, and there it
Exactly.
is. I'm seeing Stephen A.
Mm.
I'm seeing all these guys, and they play the same thing every hour on the hour. He falls asleep on it, and I'm like, didn't you just watch that? Can we change this something? But no, they saying something important. They just said it last hour. I mean,
That's right.
You don't know
That's-
what changes during the hour.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, well, I was gonna say he checks the weather every 22 minutes, but no socks. I'm gonna trip over a pair of socks. Like I know he's home because there's always a pair. It's like he's like, I'm like, what? There?
Do they ever hang it over? I think we talked about this. Maybe they hang it over the side of the laundry basket and not
Yes,
in the
yes.
So I
laundry
take it you
basket.
stay
Yeah.
by yourself, right?
yes.
You stay by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, my partner's at home and stuff. Yeah.
So how do you know when?
Oh, I mean, sometimes I'll come home and he's like sawing, like he's a carpenter. He'll be
Uh-huh.
like
Loud.
cutting shit in my house. You know, I'll walk home and it's like destroyed. And I'm
Oh,
just
wow.
like, here we go.
So,
Uh,
yeah, sawdust
And
and
you
everything.
stay
Oh,
by
like,
yourself?
Yeah, dude,
Oh,
you know,
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool shit he's doing, but I'm like, you can't do this outside. He's like, it's cold out.
Where the music's going.
But
like,
if
he
your
likes
friend
to
came
design.
over, you would know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
like by what, some music or anything, just like laying around. Like, see, that's how.
Incense, he's burning
Incense,
incense,
yeah.
music, jamming,
That's
Right.
me.
Mhm.
Like
That's here.
food
with,
everywhere.
with her, if I turn on the TV and I see some love and hip hop, Dancing with the Stars, WWE, I'm like, yep, she was down here in my area, and she was sitting in my chair, with using my blanket that I had since junior high. I'm like, yep, she was using my blanket because I mess with her all the time. I was like, no, that's my blanket. My mom made that blanket for me. You're not supposed to be touching it. That's my blanket. And she'd be like, but you're supposed to share. No, that's my blanket. And it's like when we get in the bed, she likes to stick her cold feet on me.
I love that. Icicles.
That's the rule. You
Yeah.
warm them up.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
because you project more heat
Okay,
than
so-
anybody
so-
I
Yes.
know.
Yeah,
So-
you're the furnace.
Are y'all allowed to put like stuff in a wedding vows, like that little tiny print
you
stuff
must
that we
accept
know.
it.
Yeah,
I will
that's-
say
must-
that
Listen,
before
gotta,
you get
gotta play
married-
the game, dude. Listen,
Play the game.
listen. You gotta get. Is your wife cold natured? Is she always cold?
Yeah.
Okay, you ain't playing it right then. You gotta get her a towel warmer. So when she gets out the shower, you just droop that towel over, and she's nice and warm. So she ain't putting her hot ass
And a
body
heated blanket.
on
That
That's
ain't
what I
you.
was gonna
working.
say. Keith's
Then
gonna
you
be-
got to get her a heated
Yeah.
blanket. And when she said,
Get a
"Oh, the
heated
room's
blanket.
cold," then you
Get a
get them
blanket.
mattress covers that are heated on one side, cooled on the other,
he gives
and
the
then she
best
stays
gifts.
her ass
great
on
gift.
her
A
side
heated
of the
razor.
bed.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna work.
And then she says she's cold, so you buy her a heater razor.
And
And
the
then
heated
a
socks.
Okay.
If it's
I
heated,
got
I
all
got
the
it over
things.
there.
I'm just saying
Heated
it ain't
things,
gonna
I
work.
want
You
all
wanna
of
know
it.
why it ain't gonna work? Because I sleep with a fan on all year round.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah,
there's no
there's a
better
problem.
sound than a
No.
box fan. I own about 50 of them.
Yeah.
We have
I
one
need-
in every. We have one in the kitchen.
I need
Like,
some advice for real though. How you get a man to stop shaving over the bathroom sink or to clean it up properly?
You just get-
Let
You
me
just
break
vacuum
it
it up.
down to you.
You
Let me
that's
break it down
love
to you.
You
sprinkled
won't.
Let me
everywhere.
break it down to you. You see that laying right there? Tell him get a towel, put it over the sink, the whole entire sink.
Just pick it up when you.
Have you seen the ones? They're bibs, and then
Exactly.
you Velcro them
Exactly.
to the mirror, and you
And just shave.
Because like
listen,
This
it's
still
like we've
doesn't
had
work,
this
though.
conversation over and over and over, and every morning he'll clean it up, but he doesn't really clean it. And I'll still
gosh.
find it. It's right there, like little pieces everywhere.
And just
It's on the
shave.
mirror. It's on, like it's everywhere.
That's called
Hey,
living with a
it
man.
goes back.
It's called
it-
not
it-
being
it
You
goes
Yeah.
both
you
ways.
can't change that. It's just you have to tolerate
Yeah.
that.
It's called loving what?
how-
Oh, that and then
What you say,
coming
Jig?
home.
It go what?
It goes both ways.
Thank you.
Because I pull full-fledged wigs out of the bathroom after she conditions her hair. I don't even know how she can. She still has hair. So, but if
it's
you
so
wanna pick
bad.
it-
And
but
I
here's the
literally
thing.
just do it, and I just wipe it on the wall. Like
Yeah,
I'm
leave it.
Well,
disgusting.
but it's like, no, but it's like if he said it bothered you, would you make an active effort
No.
to
No,
not do
because
that?
trust
because
me.
I'm like, look at that mongoose.
if there's
It's
a
like,
sit-
which would you tolerate, the beard or not the
No,
beard?
listen, I would
Yeah.
tell I pick up dirty laundry. I'll do literally anything, but if I have to go brush my teeth and ingest facial hair, that was where I draw the line.
no, you
Okay.
pick your battles. You just
That's a little
vacuum
too
it
far.
up.
That's
You
a little
just-
too far right there.
You can't draw
Like,
that line.
I think about it in my head, and that's my number one pet peeve. And I'm like, if you know it bothers me, if you know it bothers me that bad, why do you do it?
He
Why
will
do
bite
you do
his
it?
fingernails
Grow and
and
expand.
spit them just randomly, and I'm like, "This is my life now.
I
I will
bought-
bathe in
build-
fingernails."
I bought a mirror for the shower. I bought a mirror for the shower so we could do it in the shower. I could just go down the drain. I ain't got to worry about it, right? No. He said, I like to do it fast outside the shower. I'm like, oh, so you like to annoy me fast. That's cool, right? And when I come home, we have the couches where you press the button and it slowly goes up and it sits up. He'll sit there and be like, oh, I need some milk. Hop up and never go back to the couch and just leave it up. So I'm short. I have to jump on this couch to get in the couch. I'll be like, just roll it down. Just roll it down. Like, I'll be like, what? And it looks so gross when you walk into the room. Everything's clean, but then you have that one couch that has the things up. Those are my top two.
Eventually, those things will stop bothering you because then you'll realize that like your person is there, like they're
Yep.
living,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
there, they're
It's just
here,
like
they're
what you,
home.
it's just like what you can tolerate. Because,
Yeah.
like I said, it's stuff like him and the teenage boys that I have in the house,
Oh,
which
boy.
is one of the things I cannot stand. The juice and the milk, that last little drop,
Oh
and
my
put
God,
it
just
back
drink
in
it.
the
Just drink it.
refrigerator. Drink it. Pour it in the cup. My cup was full. Well, you sip it down and pour it in.
Yeah.
For the record,
Second,
I don't do that
even-
anymore.
even though I don't have a problem with him, but with the boys, toilet seat being up.
Oh, that's
That's probably the main one for the
fair.
toilet
But like,
seat.
think about
know.
the
Why
like,
would
what
they?
if they have to pick it up? So it's the same thing, like
yeah.
up versus down. You know,
But they have it simpler: zip, flip versus
Right.
Sit,
Well, I have
zip,
something
flip.
like. Is there another perspective on this? I know it doesn't apply to everything we're talking about here, especially where it's like hair in the sink. But like, can you learn to love these little quirks about your partner? Because my ex
yeah.
did the same thing. She would leave like little bits of milk, or not. We didn't drink milk, but you know, like juice or whatever, and kombucha in the fridge, and I would go find it later. But it became like a point of comedy between us. I was like, "What are you doing with like fucking 3 sips of oat milk?"
we're
Like, what are
literally
you doing
sitting with
this?
tea. This
Literally.
much in the
Yes.
fridge as we speak, and
You
it.
can,
I'm like,
What about the
Hey.
empty
But can it
boxes?
be, like-
The empty
She's
boxes
lying.
in the
She know
cabinet.
damn well they drink their milk. Look at them muscles.
Hey, no, seriously, you can love that because I mess with her about how she eat. It's like,
Oh my
she
God.
got to sit here and when she eat one side and then she got to turn her plate counterclockwise. I'm like, really? Who does that? You just ate that.
That's
Okay,
like
cute.
counterclockwise.
Okay, because first I'm not trying to drop my food everywhere.
Counterclockwise, though.
Yes, because that part
Learn
is
to love
empty.
it.
Now I want
Learn
this
to
part.
love it, Coach Corey. This is Alexis.
Right?
She is.
I'm not allowed to eat chips anymore, apparently. So
What?
Why?
Because I'd smack.
I was finna say that.
Oh, wow. She be smacking.
Well, she eats
I've-
with her
I've
mouth
had-
closed after the chip is like fully dissolved in her mouth. Like she'll do like 4 solid open mouth crunches and it
Because you
drives
gotta
me
get
fucking
all the
insane.
flavor.
I've had someone literally tell me like, I don't want to listen to you eat that and walk away.
That's just like, say,
Oh my
if we
God.
go to the movies, I got to make sure that I get there early because I want to watch the previews, but she got to make sure
Ooh,
she got her
why?
popcorn.
I know,
Why do you
nobody
wanna watch
wants
the
to
previews?
Because
Yes.
I like to see what's coming out, but I got to make sure
I
that
feel that.
we got to
I
watch.
get that.
No, I got to make sure just
Waste
not
of
only
my
top of
time.
that, we got to get her popcorn because when we got her
Yeah.
popcorn,
Yes.
she ain't watching no movie. It's like you really got to
Obviously.
have popcorn. She got to have a big old popcorn. I'm like,
Of course she
You gotta have
does.
popcorn at the movies.
Yeah.
Or you're
Yes,
smelling
you
it. You're
do.
smelling other people eat the popcorn.
I feel like the popcorn
Of
helps
course.
keeps me awake during the
It's
movie.
funny.
If I'm eating popcorn, I'm in the movie. But if I'm out of popcorn, I'm tired. I want to go to bed.
What
Like-
you got against Coach
And it's-
Corey? What you got against popcorn? Why?
look, I can eat popcorn at home, but at the movie
You don't eat
theaters,
popcorn at
I'm like,
home.
I'm locked and loaded in the movie. I ain't trying to get up. I ain't trying to do nothing. Movie, hey, I ain't no nothing. Movie, I ain't trying to get up.
They gotta go watch 20 minutes worth of previews. Came to see the movie.
I always come 2 minutes late.
Exactly.
You know how you,
Just
you
so
know
I
how-
don't
you know how you
someone-
fix that, bro?
I-
You just go by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
He will go to the
I-
movies by himself.
I
I'm like,
like
have
to watch
fun.
movies by myself.
I'm for that.
And then
Yeah, why
check
not?
this out.
Self-care.
So I be at home on my Xbox playing my video game. She be like, "What is that downstairs I'm in?" I was like, "That's the video game." Cause I got a surround sound.
Oh no.
Oh, that's the video game.
immersed.
Really?
He got the woofers
What's
that
that woofer?
blow
You know what I'm
at
saying?
you and they get loud.
Yeah,
and
PlayStation
then
like
you
Xbox.
effects.
and then
You got
upstairs,
Xbox?
so
I have
the
PC.
whole upstairs
PlayStation.
is shaking.
What video games you play?
Because he has it on 30.
Call of Duty. See, I play a little bit of Call of
I'm
Duty. Ain't
just
nothing wrong
shaking
with
like
it. But I be
this.
into the game. And then she like, "Is that a controller that just broke?" No.
He be playing campaign,
He
huh?
throws the controller if he gets mad. He'll throw it.
So
Or he'll kick
that's o-
over a table.
That's okay. I said, "Hey, do you got any more of your TikToks you need to work on?" She's like, "Yeah." So I'm gonna go play some video games. So I start playing my video games, and then she sets up a studio right next to my computer and starts filming, and then gets mad at me.
Why are you cussing at 12-year-old little boys?
I get
don't know
so
how old they
mad.
are.
I get
wait,
it.
wait,
I
wait.
do not
So
like that.
Hold on.
I'm like,
Hold on, hold on.
screaming.
These little
Just
12-year-old
eating up.
boys, they be cussing back at you.
They
Oh,
do.
the way he
but-
talks to these children is concerning.
But
don't know that they're children.
They insulted
Hey.
his
No,
his
they-
mom
Just-
first.
Hold on.
He's like, I ain't fucking your mom. I'm gonna fuck your dad.
No.
I'm like, gee.
Hey, wait. Hey, they not all children. They grown men.
Mm.
They all grown
It's
men.
most of my generation that's
They
on
grown
there.
I don't know.
man.
My 10-year-old whips a lot of Fortnite ass.
Yeah. Hey,
Brooke is the man.
I got a 13-year-old that be playing Fortnite, and I be hearing him way upstairs with his friends just giggling and laughing and everything else. Then I got to come upstairs. Boy, language. Oh, I'm sorry, Dad.
So so imagine me, he in the room, he downstairs. So we got this one yelling, that one yelling at the video game that
And
they're
you're just like,
playing.
I'm trying
So.
my piece. Where's my piece?
I hate to,
I-
I
at
hate
the
to cut you
wives in
guys
the
off.
room.
We
Yeah,
do
no.
have to wrap up. We're about at 1:44, but
You can go.
Um,
It's fine.
but I do thank you guys for coming. This was awesome. I'm glad we got to cover the topics that we covered. And I appreciate you guys. Got to talk to the viewers now. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, like and subscribe. If you have questions that you would like us to answer on our next episode in a few weeks, definitely leave those in the comments. Thank you. It was a vibe. It was real. This is the panel. They call me Swill, and we will see you guys in a couple weeks.
Bye.
Deuces.